This is 4K footage from a budget dashcam in 2026, but is it real 4K or just marketing? We're testing the Botslab G300H Plus dash camera, and let's inspect. Hi, welcome to this detailed review of a Botslab 4K dash camera. In this case, this is the G300H Plus. And yes, this video is sponsored by Botslab, but as always, no sponsorship changes my conclusion. You're gonna hear both about the good and the bad, especially when marketing doesn't fully match the reality. So let's start with what matters the most, the footage. You've already been watching daytime performance, and here I am not that impressed. There are some typical signs of aging hardware here. Dynamic range is limited, there's visible noise even in bright conditions, and the frame rate isn't perfectly stable. It hovers around 25 frames per second, and occasionally you're gonna notice dropped frames. Now, for a dash camera, this isn't catastrophic. The goal is to capture events, not cinematic footage, but it does affect clarity in fast-moving situations like reading license plates. And here comes the bigger issue. Although this is marketed as 4K, I have strong reasons to believe the actual detail level doesn't match true 4K, and we will get to the why in a moment. The rear camera records in full HD, and my unit unfortunately has some sort of dust on the sensor, which you can see as a dark spot, but ignoring that, the rear footage is actually quite decent for a price. So overall, daytime quality is perfectly usable and competitive. Now, nighttime is a bit different. The main sensor inside G300H Plus actually performs well. Thanks to the Sony Starvis 2 sensor, low light performance is solid, details hold up, noise is controlled, and the image doesn't completely fall apart in total darkness. It's not class-leading, but it's better than many budget dashcams out there. The rear camera, however, is clearly weaker, a smaller sensor, less detail, and more noise. At moments, it feels like a 90s camcorder thanks to the slow shutter speed. Now, let me address the elephant in the room, because Botslab say that inside here we have the Sony IMX675 Sony Starvis 2 image sensor, and that's really important because this is a 5-megapixel image sensor with native resolution of, again important, 2595 by 1944 pixels, which means the 4K output is interpolated. For 4K you need around 8 megapixels, and in simple terms, the camera is artificially increasing the resolution. You're not getting any extra detail, just larger files and more strain on the processor. And this is where I think brands need to be transparent, because labeling this as 4K creates certain expectations that are simply not met. And in reality, you're often better off recording at lower resolution with higher bitrate for more stable and efficient results. On a more positive side, though, look at the design, and I think the overall build quality, they're actually one of the strongest aspects here. The packaging is clean, everything is well protected, and the setup and the instructions are very clear. The camera itself is slim, lightweight, and easy to position. The adjustable lens is a great touch. Not all dash cameras offer this, and it makes installation so much easier. The overall shape feels familiar, very similar to the older designs from brands like 360, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's shared hardware DNA inside. You get physical buttons, a USB Type-C port, a rear camera connector, and a micro SD slot supporting up to 256 GB. That translates to around 21 hours of recording at maximum settings, both for the front and the rear, and you can fit even more footage if you lower the bitrate, which is something I would recommend. Looking at the feature set, it is solid. Not groundbreaking though. You get a wide field of view, built-in GPS that works reliably, and a smartphone app that does the job well. The app allows you to download footage over 5 GHz Wi-Fi with speeds up to around 10 megabytes per second, which is actually quite decent. You can also view metadata, adjust settings, and manage recordings directly from your phone. Inside the camera menus, you have full control over resolution, bitrate, audio prompts, and recording duration. Flexible, easy to navigate, doesn't require constant app usage. The installation is also straightforward. You mount it on the windshield, ideally within the reach of the wipers, so peel the adhesive, find the right spot, and you're done. I personally recommend using a protective film between the mount and the glass, makes the removal much easier later on. The power comes via USB Type-C from the car's cigarette lighter. If you want parking modes, you're gonna need a separate hardwire kit. The rear camera requires cable routing, of course, but you can skip it if you only need front recording. You also get some useful extras. There's driver fatigue warning after extended driving, voice commands to lock recordings, and importantly, a supercapacitor instead of a battery. This is a big plus because it means better durability in extreme temperatures, both hot and cold. Now, let's summarize the downsides clearly. Video quality is not class-leading, especially during the day. The 4K resolution is misleading due to interpolation. There's no proper motion detection for parking mode, which limits functionality unless you rely on time-lapse. And there is no cloud connectivity. Everything is local. So where does this leave us? Well, the Botslab G300H Plus feels like a product that is a bit stuck between generations. On one hand, it has a solid image sensor for night performance, good design, reliable core experience. On the other, the marketing oversells the resolution and the hardware doesn't fully keep up with the newer competition. If the price is right and you care more about night reliability than through 4K detail, I think this can be a sensible choice. But if you're chasing the best image quality or future-proof features, maybe you should check some of Botslab's more up-to-date models. And honestly, I really hope the company improves transparency moving forward, because 4K on the box might boost short-term sales, but doesn't build long-term trust. Now it's your turn. Is the footage good enough for you? Let me know in the comments below, and as usual, happy to help with any questions. Stay fresh, drive safely, and I'll see you soon. Bye.